Let's first take a look at the distribution of fluid in the body. Water constitutes about 60% of human body weight. Approximately 66% of body water is found in the intracellular fluid, while 34% in extracellular fluid. Out of ECF, 76% is found within the interstitial fluid and 25% within the serum. Lab values measure the volume of electrolytes present in extracellular fluids. But what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are electrically charged minerals that are essential to maintain normal biochemical reactions and homeostasis. They work to maintain cell membrane function, nerve conductivity, muscle contractility, bone structure, and acid-base homeostasis. A number of electrolytes occur in body. These include sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus. Under normal processes, the electrolyte balance is maintained. However, certain clinical conditions and medications can cause electrolyte abnormalities. Our first electrolyte is sodium. Sodium is the most abundant cation in the body. It plays three main functions: fluid balance, osmotic regulation, and maintenance of membrane potential. Sodium homeostasis is regulated by the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system and glomerular filtration rate. Normal sodium value is 135 to 145 milliequivalent per liter. Imbalance of sodium can result in hypernatremia or hyponatremia. Hypernatremia is defined as a serum sodium concentration greater than 145 milliequivalent per liter. Causes of hypernatremia include dehydration, GI illness, fever, lack of intake, and medications such as diuretic therapy and hypertonic saline. Hypernatremia presents with increased thirst, fatigue, restlessness, and muscle irritability. In severe hypernatremia, cerebral cellular dehydration can occur, which can progress to hemorrhage, neurologic disorders such as seizures, coma, and death. Management of hypernatremia relies on first identifying the underlying cause and then correcting it. Hyponatremia is defined as serum sodium concentration less than 135 milliequivalent per liter. Many causes are possible, including diarrhea, dehydration, and loop and thiazide diuretic use. Common signs and symptoms of hyponatremia include headache, GI symptoms such as nausea, myopathy, lethargy, and restlessness. Treatment of hyponatremia involves the administration of intravenous fluids to correct fluid and sodium balance. Our second electrolyte is potassium. Potassium is a primary intracellular cation in the body. It plays an essential role in cellular metabolism and maintain membrane potential as well as promote neuromuscular and cardiac functions. Potassium homeostasis is primarily maintained through renal elimination. Normal potassium value is 3.5 to 5.5 milliequivalent per liter. Imbalance of potassium can result in hyperkalemia or hypokalemia. Hyperkalemia is defined as a serum potassium concentration greater than 5.5 milliequivalent per liter. Common cause of hyperkalemia include medications such as potassium-sparing diuretics, excessive potassium intake, dehydration, altered renal function, burns, and hemolysis. Common signs and symptoms of elevated potassium include muscle weakness, twitching, and ascending paralysis. When serum potassium is greater than 6 milliequivalent per liter, changes in cardiac conductivity are possible, which leads to arrhythmias. Pharmacologic management of hyperkalemia include agents that shift potassium intracellularly and agents that eliminate potassium from the body. Hypokalemia is defined as serum potassium concentration less than 3.4 milliequivalent per liter. It may be caused by medications such as loop and thiazide diuretics, antibiotics, or amphotericin B. Besides this, it can also be caused by metabolic alkalosis, inadequate intake, hyperaldosteronism, refeeding syndrome, and GI losses. Although symptoms are non-specific, presentation may include constipation, dysrhythmias, paralysis, muscle necrosis, and possibly in severe cases death. Management includes supplementing potassium either orally or intravenously. Our next electrolyte is magnesium. Magnesium is an intracellular electrolyte. It has many important physiologic functions, such as acting as an essential cofactor for hundreds of enzymatic reactions. Magnesium also plays a role in sodium-potassium ATPase pump. Magnesium is also an important component of bone as well as parathyroid hormone secretion. About more than 50% of magnesium resides in the bone. Homeostasis of magnesium is maintained through GI tract, renal system, and bone through the parathyroid hormone. Normal value is 1.5 to 2.5 milliequivalent per liter. Imbalance of magnesium can cause hypermagnesemia or hypomagnesemia. Hypermagnesemia is a serum magnesium concentration greater than 2.4 mg per deciliter. Common causes include excessive supplementation, renal disease, laxative overuse, and intake of magnesium-containing antacids. Typically, mild hypermagnesemia is tolerated well. But when serum magnesium concentration exceeds 3 mg per deciliter, neurologic, neuromuscular, and cardiac symptoms may be present. Other signs and symptoms include nausea, sweating, flushing, muscular weakness, hypotension, and bradycardia. In severe cases, when cardiac abnormalities are present, intravenous calcium should be administered. Now let's discuss about hypomagnesemia. Hypomagnesemia is defined as magnesium concentration less than 1.5 milliequivalent per liter. Common causes of hypomagnesemia include decreased intake, excessive renal or GI loss, and intracellular shift of magnesium. Some drugs such as digoxin, cyclosporin, and aminoglycosides can also cause hypomagnesemia. Hypomagnesemia is also associated with other electrolyte derangements such as hypokalemia and hypocalcemia. Because of poor GI tolerance of magnesium, the intravenous route is preferred for acute management. Our next electrolyte is calcium. Calcium is one of the most abundant ions in the body. It is required for proper neuromuscular activity, integrity of membranes, endocrine functions, coagulation, and bone metabolism. The parathyroid gland is primarily responsible for controlling serum calcium concentrations. When serum calcium concentrations are low, parathyroid hormone is released, which increases bone resorption, renal conservation, and activates vitamin D. Vitamin D improves calcium retention from the GI tract. When concentrations are high, calcitonin is released from the thyroid, which inhibits bone resorption and increases renal elimination. Calcium is found in the body as complex, protein-bound, or ionized form, and is primarily located in teeth and bones. Normal value of calcium is 8.5 to 10.5 mg per deciliter. Imbalance of calcium results in hypercalcemia or hypocalcemia. Hypercalcemia is a condition in which serum calcium levels is higher than normal range. Although hypercalcemia may be a result of increased dietary intake, increased vitamin A or D concentrations, renal dysfunction, or certain medications, but the primary cause of hypercalcemia is hyperparathyroidism or cancer with bone metastasis. Patients with hypercalcemia may present with fatigue, nausea, vomiting, constipation, and confusion. In severe cases, cardiac conductivity abnormalities may be present. In mild to moderate cases of hypercalcemia, fluid therapy is first line and usually effective. For severe cases, intravenous fluid therapy, loop diuretics, and dialysis therapy may be needed to prevent dysrhythmias, kidney failure, and death. Hypocalcemia is a condition in which serum calcium level is lower than the normal range. Hypocalcemia can result from low vitamin D intake or deficiency of vitamin D. It can also be caused by hyperphosphatemia, decreased parathyroid hormone activity, blood transfusions, and rhabdomyolysis. Medications such as diuretics and anticonvulsants can also cause aberrations in calcium concentrations. Patients with hypocalcemia present with symptoms such as hypotension, decreased cardiac contractility, and QT interval prolongations. Other symptoms include muscle cramps and seizures. Depending on severity of hypocalcemia, treatment involves oral or intravenous calcium supplementation. Our last electrolyte is phosphorus. Phosphorus is the main intracellular anion. It is critically important for maintaining cellular function, bone and cell membrane compositions, pH, energy, and all physiologic functions requiring energy. Homeostasis is maintained through GI absorption, renal excretion, and parathyroid hormone activity. Normal value of phosphorus is 2.5 to 4.5 mg per deciliter. Its imbalance can cause hyperphosphatemia or hypophosphatemia. Hyperphosphatemia is defined as phosphate serum values above age-expected normal concentrations. Hyperphosphatemia can be caused by metastatic calcification, hypocalcemia, or by hypoxemia. Most hyperphosphatemia is tolerated well, and many patients may be asymptomatic. However, symptoms when present often include anorexia, nausea, vomiting, dehydration, poor appetite, and neuromuscular symptoms. Hyperphosphatemia is managed by implementing low phosphorus diet and or by adding phosphate binders. In severe cases, dialysis is required. Hypophosphatemia. Hypophosphatemia is defined by serum concentration less than 2.5 mg per deciliter. This condition is common in children who are malnourished or having refeeding syndrome. Hypophosphatemia may also be present in patients receiving phosphate binders or those with alkalosis. Clinical signs include neurologic and neuromuscular symptoms and cardiac, respiratory, or hematologic dysfunction. If presentation and symptoms are mild, management typically consists of oral replacement. In severe cases, intravenous supplementation is required. So, this is all for electrolyte imbalance.